Hutchinson Builders cut pay and staff. Let's have a look. Good morning, everyone. Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I have my morning stein of coffee, and I thought we'd have a look at this article from the Financial Review with regards to Hutchinson Builders, Australia's biggest private building company, cutting pay and staff. Now, I'm sure a lot of the viewers, particularly in the trades, especially those of you in Queensland, are familiar with Hutchies and probably have worked with them over time. We've worked with Hutchies back in the day on about $40 million worth of mining projects, and that's not counting all of the submissions and proposals we did. So when my business started, we did a lot of work with the Hutchies boys when the mining sector was just booming. So they're a funny mob. You know, it's interesting how they're set up with, essentially different competing divisions of the businesses, a Tweed office, a Brisbane office, a Sunshine Coast office, and the quality of work you get would depend on the team that you'd be working with. There'd be some really good teams and some, let's just say a little bit more tired teams. But the fact that they're cutting wages and staff just after building approvals have been announced, well, they probably know something that the rest of us don't know, and they are preparing, guys. There's a lot of people concerned in the construction industry. It's a bit of a mixed bag with who you talk to. Some people are flat out, they're busy, they're getting work coming in. I was talking to a mate yesterday, he said, we hit the ground really running hard at the beginning of the year, but now it's starting to slow down. Fees are more competitive, it's getting tighter at the moment. Let us know in the comments, guys, particularly those of you in the trades on the front line, how are you seeing it now? Are prices getting tighter? Are sites starting to close or cut down? Because, construction's a big part of the economy and it still seems to be ticking on. But with this illness pandemic that's going around, it'll only be a matter of time since they start to, shut that down too. So let's have a look at this article. Australia's biggest private builder cuts staff and prepares for the worst. One of Australia's largest private companies, Hutchinson Builders, has made 200 staff redundant and cut wages by up to 15% and will only pay its employees for 4 days a week, despite many normally working a 6-day week as it braces for a slump in construction work. Now, that's huge, guys. Because, I mean, the boys there I've worked with, they work a lot. It's construction, particularly the guys in the office were churning out a lot of stuff. 15% pay cuts, cutting staff back to only 4 days, and 200 staff gone. Wow. The government's JobKeeper initiative announced on Monday is not applicable to the company's employees or those who have recently been retrenched because the builder has not recorded a 50% drop in revenue as per the eligibility requirement for businesses with more than $1 billion in turnover. Well, there you have it. That's the problem when you're in such a big business. But here's the other thing, guys. The Hutchies family have money. The business, at least when I was dealing with them, they had enough wealth, enough reserves. They had cash reserves. So, if they want to really take care of them. 200 staff, they're probably getting rid of the dead weight, to be honest. A lot of businesses will use this as an opportunity to get rid of the dead weight. I was talking to another mate who's going to be eligible for this payment, the JobKeeper initiative, and he'll go for it. But he's let a few people go, and there's one he's not bringing back. Because, this is the thing. If you've been let go and you don't get the advantage of the JobKeeper initiative, maybe there are other reasons why you've been let go. Maybe it's time you just had a little bit of a think, honestly. Or your the business you're working for may just not be viable as well. That could be another thing too. The change in staff pay entitlements, which comes into effect on Wednesday, could be in place for as long as 12 months. Hutchinson Builders, one of Australia's largest private builders, constructs anything from a deck on a house to large commercial office towers worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't think you'd want to go to the Hutchies boys for a deck on a house, seriously. Okay, I guess, but the overheads there would be insane for a deck job. You go to a smaller one. The decks on the house are probably for people working for the company that's running it through the books so they get mates rates. But I mean, nothing wrong with that at all. To be honest, I would argue for one, we need to get rid of fringe benefits tax, the jealousy tax, and allow businesses to be more creative with how they compensate their workers. But that's probably for a different video. Last year, it recorded $2.8 billion in construction revenue. Hutchinson Builders has 189 projects underway, but the size of its future workbook has dwindled in recent weeks by around $500 million, so $500 million. So they're from $3.4 billion to $2.9 billion, with 6 upcoming projects either falling over or being put on hold. And that's what we're going to see more and more. That is what we're going to see more and more. I mean, guys, how many of your projects have been put on hold? That's the thing. I mean, why are people going to invest? I know they were playing a bit in the developer sector too, and that's going to slow down a lot. Other construction companies, both bigger and smaller, were approached by the Australian Financial Review. It said it was so far business as usual, with current construction sites still open and no redundancies or cut to wages to report. The reality is it's not business as usual, said Greg Quinn, Managing Director of Hutchinson Builders. We're finding ourselves in this time where jobs are dropping away and around the corner doesn't look too pretty, with the prospect of a recessionary environment. So he's planning for the future. So Greg's planning for the next stage of what's going to happen. I'm sure it depends on who they talk to. Some people will still see it as business as usual, but he's planning 6 months ahead. Because you've got to make these cuts now to keep the business viable. Last week, the business implemented necessary austerity measures and restructuring with 200 staff, not subcontractors, but those in salaried, management or administrative positions losing their job. I mean, that'd be a tough thing. I mean, but then again, we're seeing everyone losing their jobs at the moment, guys. I suspect part of the job keeper allowance is to, well, let's just say, reduce the unemployment statistics. Will those people be recorded as unemployed? Can someone let me know? Technically, they probably won't be. We'll have to see. We need to respond to the market and protect the balance sheet to get through this period that we're entering now, and to come out strong on the other side, so we can support our people and hopefully get on with business, Mr. Quinn said. Some staff raised concerns to the Financial Review that the new employment terms would mean any future redundancies would be paid out at a lower rate. They said they'd been told sick leave payments would be declined. Well, yeah, they're probably true. That's the issue that will happen. If you cut back people's hours, you pay them at the lower rate. I mean, they can complain or they can lose their job now. Mr. Quinn said Hutchinson Builders would fulfill its obligations in the case of sick pay entitlements. He also said employees were able to access their annual leave and long service leave entitlements on a weekly basis. Mr. Quinn said these were temporary measures aimed solely at keeping Hutchinson strong during this challenging period. And, well, while this has all happened, guys, we've also seen just an announcement, and I will bring this up, building approvals. I'm just reloading my building approval chart, which have gone up. So building approvals have increased. Ignore the reference date. That's from literally today. I didn't update that. But building approvals have increased. You can see that spike up there. So February, they've shot up again, particularly for dwelling unit numbers. So what does that tell you, guys? I think, honestly, it was a rush of people to get their projects approved before all of this really kicked in, before the restrictions hit up. And we'll have a look here. I mean, here you can see the numbers. Dwelling approvals, trend total dwelling unit approvals from Feb last year to this year were down 2.5%, but from Jan to Feb up 1%. And then seasonally adjusted, okay, from Feb last year to this year down 5.8%, but are up 19.9%. So that is a huge jump. So is this a turnaround for the construction sector? What do you reckon, guys? I think it would be people rushing to get those approvals in so they can start at least getting the projects underway, so they can lock them in before maybe your certifiers go on holiday, maybe other issues happen, maybe supply issues are causing problems. One of the builders we're working for now, they're ordering material in as fast as they can for projects, just to ensure they've got it to keep the job going. So we'll have to see. But I think this will probably, and sadly, end up just being a blip in the construction sector. We can go here by state. New South Wales fell 0.1 in Feb. Trend estimates rose 0.2. Dwelling unit approvals in Victoria rose 3.9. Private sector houses rose 0.9. Queensland rose 0.4. Private sector houses 0.6. South Australia fell 2.6. Houses were flat. Western Australia fell 2% in Feb. Private sector houses rose 1%. So it looks like people are trying to lock in projects and approvals before it gets any worse. We'll have to see what next month's figures are, particularly with the decline in consumer confidence. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions. How are you seeing it out there in the construction industry? Are other people going to do this? Do you think Hutchies is the first off the rank? And do you think other builders are just probably not telling the truth to the Financial Review? Or maybe they're not planning as far ahead. How is your business handling? How are your trades going at the moment? Take care, guys. Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and you want to support us, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel here on YouTube or on Patreon for a small monthly fee. You can use our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay for a consumer purchase. You can also use our referral links at Independent Reserve or Kucoin for all the crypto traders out there. We have merch available from Teespring and HeiseSays, although, to be honest, I still haven't received my sample I've ordered from Teespring. So just wait until I get it, guys, because I think they're a bit delayed. We have PayPal for those of you that want to contribute that way, and Gold Pass if you want to send us gold. Take care, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.